need Wailing Essence of Greed. I got 2 of those suckers. Oh! Oh! Ooh. Filthy. G'day guys, ZiggyD here. Today I want to share with you guys some of the tips and things I've learned about Essence so far that you guys will be able to apply to get the most out of your Essences and start earning some decent currency in the new Essence League. So the first thing I want to talk about is use your Essences, guys. Use them early, use them and liberally. Now I've been using my Essences pretty much as I can anytime like a full link white base drops or any base item that I need an upgrade for, or any like piece of jewelry or any, you know, any belt or any weapon or even shields. I'm chucking Essences on them. And I've been doing that, and I still have this many Essences here at the start of day 3. Like, this is 2 days in. So you'll be able to use these Essences as liberally as you want, and you'll still have a massive amount of them. So use them a lot. They're going to make your leveling experience a lot better, and you're going to get a lot of sellable items. I've made several Exalts in the first 2 days, and many of those have been through like 1 to 3 chaos sales of like decent leveling gear. In hardcore, that's gonna be a market for, you know, several weeks until there's a lot of leveling gear around. You're still gonna be able to sell decent leveling gear, and just using random Essences while leveling on 4 link items and things like that is going to get you those items that you're either going to be able to use and level much better, or get something that's going to be sellable. So, like, you know, I've already been able to purchase something like a Beast First Shore, which I spent about 2 Exalts on, just with the currency that I've produced from, I got 1 Exalt drop, and then the currency that I've produced from just kind of like selling random Essence things, right? And let's have a little bit of currency now, saving up towards some other gear upgrades. I've been able to swap to CI in day 2 of a new league, so that's not easy to do, and that's thanks to Essence Crafting ES gear and also Essence Crafting things to sell. And you guys saw in that video those nice pair of gloves that I crafted there. So use those early and use those liberally. Now the next thing I want to talk about is what to do with your tier 1 Essences. So these piddly little things here. Now when you get these when you're leveling in the early game, these are great. You can chuck this on like a bow or something if you're leveling a bow character, and you're going to get something pretty usable. Upgrading these to tier 7 is not really viable. Like, you're going to spend hours upgrading tier 1s all the way through to tier 7. Now you might be able to upgrade a couple into tier 3s or something like that, and then have that tier 3, you know, complete a set of tier 3s to upgrade into a tier 4 or something like that, but it's not really worth, I don't think, taking the time to upgrade all your tier 1 Essences, your tier 2 Essences, and I even hesitate to really do much tier 3 upgrading. Tier 4, 5, I'm fine with upgrading those into trying to get like tier 6s or just upgrading tier 4s and tier 5s. I think that's pretty reasonable, but tier 1 through 3 are basically junk Essences. So what are you going to do with them then? They're not really worth anything. You're not really going to be able to sell them to other people. Other people are going to buy tier 1 Essences, and the stats on them that they give you, there's a guaranteed bad stat once you get to endgame, right? Like once you're 60 plus, using this on an item, like if you use this on a piece of jewelry, you're getting a guaranteed bad stat, right? You're getting 1 to 2 fierce. That's a guaranteed bad stat, right? That's taking the place of potentially life. It's taking the place of a better physical roll. Like you're losing out there. But this still represents a free alch, or at least 5/6 of a free alch, right? An alch can roll up to 6 affixes, and using this on random pieces of jewelry you find, so you find a random sapphire ring, using this, sure, you're getting 1 guaranteed bad stat, but you can still get life tri-res. And that's happened to me a few times, so using these on not very good implicit jewelry, so something like a coral ring with like a 22 life roll, or a sapphire ring with a 23 life roll, using these guys on that is still getting you a pseudo-free alch, right? Like, it costs you nothing, you have these, what else are you going to do with them? Using them on those pieces of jewelry is going to, you know, still potentially give you something usable, especially things like amulets and rings, which you only need like 3-4 good stats, and sometimes even as little as 2 good stats to get a sellable piece of jewelry for several chaos. And I mean, a good 5-stat jewelry could be worth Exalts. So even though you're getting 1 junk affix, it's still worth using these on jewelry. And then there's the kind of the cuter use scenario here, and that's 2 stone rings, where you can actually get full alch value out of these to produce prismatic rings. So what you do is you'll take these random tier 1 essences and you'll use them on 2 stones like this. So any 2 stone I find, any white 2-stone ring, and any good loot filter should highlight white jewelry for you. If not, add it to your loot filter in Essence League. You want to add, nice white crafting bases in Essence League. So just drop these tier 1 essences on these 2 stones. And then once you get a set of the 3 different colors, so there's this orange-blue, there's the blue-red, and then there's like the other combination of the 2. Once you get 3 of those, you can sell, once you've got 3 rare, so you drop tier 1 essences on the 3 different kinds, you vendor 3 of those to a vendor, and you'll get back a prismatic ring. Now you can swap the actual rings around once you get a few to try and get a 10 all-res implicit roll. That's 30 resistance on the base one, but it's so it's equivalent of like a regular 30 resist ring, but it's also tri-res. It's all resistances, which is much easier to gear with. People value all-res quite a bit because it's it spreads out the resists into the different locations where you need it, and it's sellable to more people. So prismatic rings are a pretty nice base. Now what happens is when you drop one of these crappy tier 1 essences on a 2-stone, you're going to get a guaranteed bad one. So you can see things like, what do we got here? We got, what did I do with this one? This was probably like the 6 cold damage one. This is probably like a tier 1 cold damage affix maybe. From the looks of it, that's probably what I used on this. So, that's not a very good stat, 6% cold damage, whatever. No one really wants to use that. Now, it could have been sellable, and I've got a couple ones that I've sold for like 1 to 2 counts there, so you can still get sellable rings. And then if it's like this, it ends up junky, you can use it to create those prismatic rings. Now, once you do the 3-for-1 recipe to turn it into a prismatic, the prismatic becomes an unidentified rare with affixes based on the item level. So that's the combined item level of the 3 2-stones you put in, rather than you're not getting that junky stat, right? You're getting rid of that junky stat and giving yourself a new, fresh, juicy, proper prismatic ring rare. So you can essentially turn 3 tier 1 essences into an actual alchemy orb by using them on 2-stone rings. That's kind of the key there, and it's a cute little mechanic and a nice way of producing decent, potentially sellable prismatic rings. I've yet to land a really nice one, but if I stick with it, I'm sure I'll get something pretty good soon. So the next thing I want to talk about is 2 of the really juicy early league essences, ones that you guys can use right now to produce some really nice wearable gear and some really nice sellable gear as well. It's going to be worth some serious cash. Essence of Woe and Essence of Greed. These are ones to definitely keep an eye out for. Tier 5s of these guys and Tier 6s are both really, really good. I wouldn't really be pushing for Tier 7 just yet, because getting like 9 Tier 5 rolls or 3 Tier 6 rolls is better than getting 1 Tier 7 roll at this point in the league. We're not trying to craft perfect gear here. We're trying to craft really nice starter gear. So Tier 5s and maybe pushing Tier 6 if you're starting to get into like mid-end game. But I'm using Tier 5 Woes and Greeds at the moment quite a bit whenever I find a decent base item. So go to the wiki, Path of Exile wiki, great resource. You should have it open in the background all the time, and check out what are the top tier bases for the things that you're trying to craft. Now this works on multiple different things, like these will work on things like gloves and stuff as well, right? Body armor, gloves, etc. So you see how it's got that body armor and other armor as well. Can work on shields and things too. So you got a lot of nice choices here. So go to the wiki, look for the top bases of items that you want to craft for yourself, and you'll either be able to produce something good for yourself or something sellable. But, Occultist Vestment, Widow Silk Robe, Varagalia, any of these guys, pick these up and chuck an Essence of Woe in them. And if you just happen to get a bit of percentage increased energy shield and like 1 or 2 resistances, you have a very nice ES chest at this point in the league. Same thing for Greed, right? Even easier with Greed, because if you got that guaranteed life roll, you got that guaranteed like 80 to 90 life that it gives you. You just get like 1 or 2 resists, then like decent resists, and you're good. You got a several chaos chests that you can potentially use. I used this to craft myself a 5-link earlier. I bought a 5-link for 6 chaos, and I used a tier 5 essence of greed on it. I got the guaranteed life roll, obviously, which is all you really want. And I got 2 okay resists on it, mastercraft a 3rd resist on it. I used that for quite a while until I got my beast first shawl, and then I ended up flipping and selling that for 9 chaos or something. So I actually made a profit on that 5-link chest that I bought after having used it for like a full day. So pretty nice stuff on here, and just get familiar with those base items. Add them to your loot filter if you need to. Keep an eye out for them. Any white ones, especially ones that are already linked and things like that, pick those up and use these guys on them, and you'll be able to get something pretty good in the early stages of League here. Now here's the next one I want to mention, the Anger, Wrath, Hatred essences. These don't kick in until a fair bit later, but once you start getting them, they become quite useful. In particular, I found very useful to keep these guys in mind whenever you were struggling for a particular resist. Like, you're like, oh my god, my resists are capped except for lightning res. Lightning res is like 30 under, and I need to go fight piety now. You know, how am I going to do this? The best thing I found with these guys were using them on belts, just picking up like a life belt or a rustic sash or something like that, whatever a good base belt for you, and just dropping one of these guys on it is that guaranteed resistance. And there's still a pretty good chance that you're going to roll like another resist and some life or something like that. And if at the very least you can use that temporarily to you know, to bolster that resist while you clear through the content that you need it for, until you can get the rest of your resistances balanced. But these are definitely ones to keep an eye out for, to use kind of conditionally when you need to, and they work pretty nice in place of what I think are the more valuable greed and woe. You can use these to craft a pretty decent usable item that gives you the exact resist you need. You know, none of that kind of RNG there. You just get that resist you need, which is pretty helpful. Last one I want to draw your attention to for the softcore players amongst you in particular is Scorn. This is definitely one to keep an eye out for. This guy giving crit multiplier on amulets and rings is pretty juicy. I reckon dropping these on some nice amulets. Try and think of like the stats that you need. So often like a crit spellcaster would be looking for strength dexterity. So get the hybrid strength dexterity amulet and drop the crit multi on there and try and get yourself like a nice crit multi spell damage amulet or something like that. I think these ones are going to be able to be used to craft some really nice high DPS amulets to produce some nice wealth in particular the softcore leagues. They're a little less applicable in hardcore because people are more often looking for life and resist on the amulets in hardcore, but in softcore, you know what, you want that a lot of DPS on your amulet, so Scorn is a good one to keep an eye out for. So guys, that's my early thoughts on essences in Essence League. I hope you guys find that helpful and use them to produce some really nice gear and produce some extra wealth for yourselves. I'm curious, have you guys discovered any other kind of methods that you're using and want to share, as long as they're not like top secret Uber currency producing methods that you want to keep to yourself? Maybe share them in the comments below. Share the love a little bit, right? Share the knowledge, and let's all have a pretty good time in Essence League. I think this is a great league. I think I've been really enjoying it. The leveling experience in this has been tough with the essence monsters adding a nice level of difficulty, but the essence crafting as well. Lots of like little detailed kind of like fiddly crafting, which I really like. So I've been having an absolute blast with this, and if you guys engage in the essences, I'm sure you will too. So that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.